Hi, I'm Patu from freefincal. You may have heard the news that SBI Small Cap Fund and DSP Small Cap Fund have reopened for lump sum investments. So let's find out who should invest, what you should do if you invest, and so on in this video. Before I begin, I wanted to make an announcement. I am coming up with a risk profiler or a risk analyzer, or if you want to call it a risk appetite evaluation sheet. I don't like to use the word risk appetite. I will talk about why that is and so on. So this will be a paid tool, but I want to keep it low cost so that all capital market investors, especially young capital market investors, can use it. Advisors also can use it. It will be extremely low cost for advisors compared to tools like Phenometrica and things like that. Other software as a service kind of tools where you have to pay a subscription yearly and so on. That's my goal. My goal is to have a one-time fee which is extremely low cost and which can be used by all investors to understand where they stand with respect to their perception of risk and reward in the capital markets. So that's coming up. And the other thing that I wanted to release during the course of the summer, although I'm not sure how much I can do, is to create a course for building a website, showcasing your competence and how to create a secondary source of income from that. That's something I want to do as a course, a set of videos. Let's see how that works. I haven't started yet. This risk profiler, I have the questions ready. I just need to formulate it, everything. I'll do that in a few days. Hopefully, I'll try and release it next month. Let's see how that works. That's what I want to talk about. So, all right. So let's take a look at these two funds. We'll review their history and so on. I have reviewed SBI Small Cap and DSP Small Cap separately in detail, and the links are there in this main article. So you can just go to head over to freefincal.com and you will be able to see the latest article there, and then the review links are there. I have the video of SBI Small Cap. I think DSP Small Cap may not be there. I don't remember now. You can just check it in the review playlist if it's available. So DSP Small Cap will open for lump sum investments on 1st April, SBI on 30th of March. They now believe that the valuations in these small cap space are attractive enough for the funds to invest. Good or bad, we do not know. The circulars are also linked in the article. In August 2019, I had studied small cap funds as a category, and I had listed 6 small cap funds that did very well with respect to mid cap and small cap benchmarks, and both SBI and DSP mutual funds were part of that 6 fund list. I have also separately reviewed them as I just showed, and SBI. If you look at SBI's fund, it started out as a small and mid cap fund, and then it was converted into a small cap fund in May 15, 2018, and its definition of small cap changed a little bit and so on. And it had even right from the beginning, it had a capacity constraint clause of 750 crores, and once that 750 crores was hit in October 2015, the all investments were closed, and then in May 2018 they reopened SIP because the small cap index had started falling down, and they reopened the fund for SIP alone, and now they're going to reopen it for lump sums as well. And in the case of DSP, it was earlier known as DSP Microcap. It was a darling of small cap investors or young mutual fund investors who look no further than trailing returns. It also changed a little bit in terms of the definition of what a small cap is, but it has always been a small capish kind of mutual fund, although it had a reasonable amount of mid caps in it, in my opinion. So from 2,200 crores in January 2016, it zoomed to 5,000 crores. And at that point, when the AUM the AUM always zooms up based on past performance. So whenever you can notice that when the AUM moves up of a fund, typically very high by a very high amount, that year or the year later, the performance will fall down. So it's just Murphy's law in a way. So in February 2017, they stopped fresh investments. From April 2019, the investments via SIP and STP were reopened, and now they're going to reopen the lump sum as well. Because of the fall in the markets, and probably because of the higher AUM, nobody knows, the fund, or maybe because there are other funds which were doing well, the star rating of the fund in value research dropped from 5 star to 3 star. Many people were unhappy. They were very worried about the DSP microcap. During that time, I had published 2 articles. I don't know if I made a video on that. I published 2 articles saying that the fund has been a consistent performer. It does going through a bad phase, but it did do well. Both SBI small cap and DSP small cap have been consistent performers. So in terms of performance, there's nothing to worry about. But the only question is, should investors now invest a lump sum in these funds? I have always felt retail investors should stay away from small caps. There is no need for them. That's just too risky. They zoom up, zoom down for years. Will be doing nothing. It's just not worth it. The additional risk investing in small caps is just not worth it for the kind of reward you get. It's a very fleeting reward. It's not. You will not stay for long. A good multi-cap fund is enough for retail investors to invest, and that will have all the small cap exposure that one needs in a mutual fund portfolio. However, if you want to capitalize on this opportunity of low valuation and invest a lump sum now, please make sure you are ready to pull out when the valuations in the small cap space become high. You pull out when the AMC says we are going to close for lump sum investments again. That is your sign to pull out. Or you do technical indicators, like use technical indicators like moving averages or any other thing like that, and pull out. If you enter tactically now, you must exit tactically. What is that? Based on the market valuations and so on. Unless you are prepared to do that, do not buy small cap funds at all. Especially now, don't invest unless you are ready to pull out at attractive valuations. When the valuations are high, now the valuations are attractive, the valuations become high, small cap index moves up significantly, hopefully at some point in the future. At that time, you must be ready to pull out. If you are ready to do that, take this offer. Otherwise, please stay away from small caps. So that's what I wanted to say. Catch you later. Bye bye.